First of all, I got a story to tell you guys, and I wanna ask you guys if you've ever had a similar experience. So, let me set the scene. It was Christmas Day, just a little over a week ago, and I was at an IHOP. So, here's how my fiance and I ended up there. No offense to IHOP. I'm personally not a big fan. It's not really an institution I patronize often. But we had our big 7-fish meal on Christmas Eve, and a lot of the food got eaten. It was awesome. We distributed the leftovers. And then Christmas Day, we woke up, and we realized that we weren't going anywhere until dinner time. And we had no food in our house. All of the food we had been getting was for that meal. So we just had no food in our house. And we realized, wow, we don't have any food, and we're not going to eat until tonight. We should eat. So we tried to figure out what was open. There wasn't a whole lot, but the IHOP down the street was in fact open. So we said, well, we know where we're going. And I decided I'm going to get some chocolate pancakes. So anyway, we go to IHOP, and I wear this hat that's for an old political initiative, and it was a gift to me, and I just kind of liked the hat. And it was a gift from somebody whose political astuteness I trust completely, so I never question what the hat was actually for. It was just like one of those old vintage hats. But I eventually realized, I was like, you should find out what this initiative was, though, because if it's something bad, you shouldn't be wearing this hat. I just never questioned it, because it was from someone whose political leanings I trusted completely, and I knew I was aligned with. So I just never. Now it turns out it was an ocean cleanup initiative. So it was a good environmental thing that I would have been for. But anyway, I have this hat, and I still wear it, especially now that I know it's a thing that I would for sure be for. And I like the way the hat looks on me. And it was a gift. So anyway, I have this hat on, and I'm there. And this guy goes, hey, what's your hat mean? We're just waiting for our tables, so we're all kind of like standing outside. And I go, I'm actually not exactly sure what the initiative is. I'm pretty sure it's an environmental thing, but this was a gift to me, and I like the hat. So I should probably make sure it's a good thing. But so I said, but it's an environmental thing. And he goes, well, then I'm for it. Anything environment, I'm for it. And I was like, that's awesome, dude. That's awesome that you're for it. And he's like, I'm a huge environmentalist. And I said, good for you, man. That's awesome. I like to think I am too. Meaning politically, I am totally an environmentalist. I just haven't really done as much activism as other environmentalists have. So I don't know if that's a badge I can pin on myself. But I was like, that's awesome, dude. He's like, yeah, I'm a huge environmentalist. And then he goes, then he looks around, right? Like he looks around like he's going to do something bad. And he looks around and then he goes, I'll tell you, I voted for Trump. Which right away was a little weird. Right, that's like being like, I am a hardcore vegan. By the way, I shoot zebras for fun. You know what I mean? Like that was a weird spin to go from I'm a huge environmentalist to, by the way, I voted for Trump. Thought that was a little different. But, it was Christmas Day. I was like, all right, man, I don't know what brought you there, but, that's your choice. It's a holiday. I'm not here to judge anybody. And he goes, look, dude, I'm just really disenfranchised by everything. The way he said it, he said, look, man, I've followed Republicans, or I've been a Republican and I've been a Democrat. That's this guy speaking. And he said, and I think it's pretty much good cop, bad cop. And neither party's been great for the environment. That is true. I mean, that is technically true. And, he was just going on and on about it, about how he's just disenfranchised to the system in general. Now, while I share that frustration, the solution that Trump is going to be the outsider that fixes it is quite the fairy tale. the idea that this plutocrat who has benefited from the system his entire life through no work of his own is somehow going to change that system is nothing short of delusional. So, you know, we all know this. This is all stuff we talk about all the time. So I was like, well, man, you know, I agree with you on some of those things, but I don't see how you think that, you know, that Trump would be a solution at all. And he's like, well, I don't really like Trump. I just blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay. So then somehow airports come up and we start talking about LAX, you know, because he's talking about the environment. He's talking about how everything is just so, we're not consuming responsibly. We need to get off of fossil fuels. You know, all those things Trump's big on. all the things you always hear Trump talking about. But he was talking about all those things environmentally. You know, this guy was right on. I don't know why he doesn't join the Green Party. Some of you guys are pointing out, why doesn't he join the Greens or the DSA? Great question. I didn't get to talk to him that in-depthly, nor did I really want to. It was Christmas Day. But he's going on about the airports. So here's my big here's sort of like where I'm wondering if I kind of nudged him a little bit. Nudge in a good way, in a positive way. So we're talking about the airports, and he's talking about how LAX is just so insane, which it is, and he's talking about how we could spread that traffic around. People would make the effort to go to Ontario or go to Burbank or go to Long Beach to kind of spread it out a little bit, which is true. And I said, well, you know, the reason it's such a mess, one of the reasons it's such a mess is because we've completely deregulated the airlines. We've let them operate without any type of protections for consumers whatsoever. That's why they've been able to price gouge. That's why they've been able to do what they've been doing. And that's why they're all at LAX. They just want to go where they can make the most money. And the citizens don't have a say. And he's like, exactly, man. I'm like, yeah, it's all because of deregulation. And he's like, exactly. You're exactly right. And then I go, imagine if we could vote on this. What if we could vote on the way that the airlines had to distribute their services? What if we could vote on that, man? Do you think that would make things a lot better? And he's like, yeah, that would be awesome. See, this is what I'm talking about, bro. That's the kind of change we need. We need to vote on it in our own communities. And that's not left or right. That's what he said. And then I said to him, I'm like, sir, you brought it up, but because you did, I gotta tell you, actually, that's a very left-wing idea. What I just threw at you, that you said you're all about, that's a very left-wing idea. I was like, I'm converting you. I'm converting you. That's a really progressive thing, what I just said. And you said you were all about it, my friend. And then he's like, well, I guess there's some crossover, and he shook my hand. So, I don't know. I just, so my question for the day is, I wanted to share that story with you guys. I thought it was a fun one. And also I'm curious, has anybody ever had any one of those moments where you break it down on a community level and then all of a sudden you're just like, you slide something in there. You slide it in there. And they're like, exactly. And you're like, that's actually a really progressive thing you just said you were all about. So I don't know. I mean, hey, maybe that guy freaking went home and started looking into what a Green New Deal is all about. I don't know. I have no idea. Has anyone ever had anything like that? He went home and told his wife that he met a very polite commie. I think his wife was with him. I'm pretty sure. I mean, there was a woman with him that was definitely his partner. I don't know if they were married or not. I have no idea. But yeah, his romantic partner was with him. Ronnie, be good. Thanks, Nub. That's very kind. Pam asks a question. Who fears Pence more than Trump? I do. I think Pence would be a lot worse than Trump. Absolutely. Just because Pence is competent. Let's see here. I have tricked family members into doing that, then told them it was Karl Marx. That's the thing to do. I mean, that's the fun thing to do. You kind of just, You just break it down, and then when people are like, yeah, that's awesome, you're like, hey, this is actually the thing that you were told you're supposed to be afraid of. You know? Human says, my neighbors fought with guns over Trump. No deaths yet. Jeesh. All right, that's kind of scary. You may need to find new neighbors if they're if it's coming down to guns. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you wanna know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you wanna know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can tweet me an article at Ron Placone. We'll go through it together and